The EU's envoy to Syria today lashed out at criticism that the EU's not doing enough to get aid to victims. Dan Stoenescu says that EU countries have now raised more than 50 million euros to provide aid and back rescue missions in both the government-held and the rebel-controlled parts of Syria. Well, for all the very latest, we can go to Kumashli in Syria. Journalist Badakan Ahmad is there for us now. And Badakan, tell us what is happening. Are survivors still being pulled from the rubble?
Of course, I can say that the Syrians, they lost the hope for the rescuing process in northwestern Syria, because it's almost impossible to have a chance for have some people under this rubble, because for them to stay alive, of course, they need water, they need to be in a comfortable situation, they need, of course, but usually the Syrians, they don't have enough conditions for have a good life, and of course the weather is so cold, and this is affecting to them for not be able to survive for a long time. We heard about few cases yesterday, and I think one or two cases today, but these cases, I think it's slowly going to finish, because I can say that the Syrians, they really lost hope, and unfortunately that the convoys, they started to enter Syria when the Syrians, they lost the hope for having more survivors under this rubble, because they need this support in the first days, or maybe in the first or second days, of course.
Yeah, you talk about people losing hope, and there has been this feeling over the past few days, Badakan, that Syria has kind of been forgotten. There's been a ton of international aid going into Turkey, but the people in Syria are really victims of circumstance as well, the political situation there. What do you make of what the EU envoy had to say, that it's not fair to criticise the EU? Do you think that Europeans are doing enough to get aid to the people that need it most?
Of course, they didn't do enough for the Syrian people, but of course it's not only their fault. The fault, it's about who's controlling on the ground. Let's say, talk about the Syrian government, let's speak about the Turkish government, and let's speak about the factions who control this territory. For example, I can mention in the area that I'm staying, it's northeastern Syria. I have heard that there are some convoys for support for the people to northwestern Syria, but the let's say the government or the factions who control northwestern Syria, they said, we don't want to accept this support because it's coming from our enemies. So this is the situation. It's the politics. It's in everywhere. The politics. It's even in this natural disaster. So of course, the one who's suffering, it's the civilians. It's the people. They lost their lives for this political situation and this complicated situation in Syria, and it's the same situation in the Syrian government. Some organizations or the Red Cross, they wanted to send some support to northwestern Syria. The Syrian government, they said, we will not allow for this support to go to this territory because it's controlled by factions, let's say, backed by Turkey against the Syrian government. So, but the one who became the victim of this, it's the people, it's the children and the families.